3.5 kilometres, the Taupo Motorsport Park in the rain today for race 2 of the Fujitsu 200. Here's how they line up with Scott Radisich in the front of the grid.
Row 2, first of the Commodores, Andy Booth and Andrew Anderson.
Then it's McIntyre and Porter had a great battle to finish race 1.
Row 4 sees Craig Baird and David Besnard.
From row 5, watch out for Michael Bristow and the Texon site Ford Falcon, and Eddie Bell, the mini champion, now in the Porter Brothers Racing Independent Fisheries Ford.
Row 6 is shared with Ford of Simon Richards and the Holden of John Penny.
Then it's Dale Williams and Alan McHarrison.
Followed in row 8 by John Hepburn and Boyd Norwood.
Adam Brook from Christchurch alongside Sean Turton from Pukekohe in row 9.
Then we have Julia Hussett and Chris Adams.
From row 11, the first two guys suffering penalties, Paul Manuel and Cam Hardy from race 1.
Row 12 has Angus Fogg and Inky Tulloch.
Paul Pedersen and Edgell down the back of the field as well.
And bringing out the last row is Andy Knight and Nick Ross.
So that's the field as they line up for the wet race. Fujitsu 200 at the Taupo Motorsport Park. A lot of those guys down the back of the field no doubt will be looking for race position for the reverse grid race, but let's see how they line up in the wet. Remember, plenty of drama in race 1 in the first lap.
We had plenty of action in the dry. You can only imagine what's going to happen in the rain.
So it's Kane Scott alongside Paul Radisich. Already there's, look at Craig Baird.
Oh no, Craig, come on Craig, get it together. Oh, big risk there, Clint.
Gets the United Video Ford Falcon back on the tarmac as it's Kane Scott leads the big fielder around the first corner, the BNT V8s.
Clint, very well behaved in turn 1. Let's see what happens in turn 2, and it's come unstuck.
On board the Castrol Falcon of the defending champion Johnny McIntyre, Andrew Anderson all over the place in front of him. Look at the field just slipping by.
What's happened here is Johnny Mac has got to allow the train to go through, Clint, because he can't get in and get aggressive. Now he's got to re-establish himself, get settled down, start making up a few places. Slips
up the inside of the ITM Racing Commodore of Andrew Anderson on board. Johnny Mac, there's Kane Scott, the rat right up behind him, Big Ben, Commodore Andy Booth. Good start, look at the rat slipping out of that corner.
And what you'll see here, if you actually look back at the corner we're looking at, you'll see towards the left-hand side, you'll see the circuit is very dark. The other side is slippery, track drying out already in lap 1.
So changing conditions, Fujitsu 200, 16 laps, slipping and sliding in the rain on board. With Paul Manuel.
Great move, and there goes Inky.
Slaps into the side of the Cat Rentals car of Inky Tulloch. Now looking back from Manuel's Oryx Commodore.
Plenty of action in lap 1 here.
Oh, look at this, down the straight for the first time, and Kane Scott and the Fujitsu Falcon is now in a BNT V8 sandwich.
There's just too many things for him to defend. Do you defend left, do you defend right, or do you just try to control the car?
Radisich and Booth and the Big Ben Commodore. Look at Bezzy.
Oh, Bezzy's having a look on the inside. Kane Scott first to fourth in the space of 700 metres.
Unbelievable. Good racing on board the Hyundai Hydraulic Ford Falcon of Andrew Porter. In the top 5, and look at right behind him, Johnny Mac. Charging into that first corner, second lap.
You can see how dry the circuit's becoming, as we explained before. The more laps these cars do, the faster they'll pump the circuit dry. But one thing you'll start noticing in the next lap or two, you'll see the cars taking some very strange lines. What they're looking for the wet part of the circuit to help dry off or cool off those wet tyres.
McIntyre squeezing past Porter. Great shots on board. Johnny Mac.
You'll see here, listen to the car. Car's labouring a little bit, means Johnny's using second gear and racing in the dry with slicks on. We expect that to be first gear.
You can see the dry line already.
Absolutely, you know, these cars do not take much to dry it out, and here's old Andy giving Paul a bit of a Morse code saying, hey guy, I'm here, I'm not going to leave you alone.
Good racing, changing conditions straight away. They started in the rain already though. How long will these tyres last?
Look, these tyres will last the 16 laps. They're a quality tyre, but what will happen is the tyre will start to go off, and what I mean by that, they'll start overheating, and if you think the cars are moving now, give it another 5 or 6 laps. We've seen nothing yet.
Paul Radisich leading race 2 for Fujitsu 200. So it's a Ford right behind him, the Big Ben Commodore of Andy Booth. And then it's Bernard, McIntyre, right on the bumper of Kane Scott, going backwards. Simon Richards off onto the grass.
He'd done a very good job to control it. Keep in mind that when one of these cars that weighs 1,450 kilos hits the grass, they actually accelerate. So, you know, to keep the car under control and keep it back on the circuit, very good job.
Great shots on board the LG Motorsport Ford Falcon of Angus Fogg trying to work his way up from the back of the field.
Yeah, you know, he didn't have the most desirable starting position, but Angus proved in the first race that he's competitive, and we expect to see that in this race as well.
Radicic got a good jump in the field. Already it's the Commodore up, Bernard down the inside of Boothie. Can he make it stick?
You see both cars running a little bit wide on the apex here, a little bit of speed, but thank goodness, oh, there goes the mirror.
Oh, Booth just says, give me some racing room.
Yeah,
McIntyre, he's slipped straight onto this freight train. Bernard wallowing around there around Taupo.
Yeah, look, they have a very soft setup in David's car. So, you know, on wets with a drying condition, we're going to see a lot of that from all the cars.
Great sound, BNT V8s.
Absolutely magnificent.
Roaring in the wet, the rats away. Booth, Bernard, McIntyre, Fogg, Bristow, Porter. But the beard up there. Andrew Anderson's going backwards though, mate.
Yeah, he is. You know, so much for my prediction pre-race, but, you know, anything can happen. It's a long race yet.
On board the BA Versatile Buildings Ford of Adam Brook looking back, a little bit of smoke coming out of John Penny's car.
Yeah, Clint, I wasn't too sure if that was actually haze from the rain or smoke, but it is smoke. What's going to happen now, if that car continues smoking, it means it's dropping oil onto the exhaust or maybe onto the circuit. Oil, wet circuit, dry tyres.
BNT V8s.
Anything can happen.
Bash country again, mate.
Well, we don't need any more than what we've already had.
Good driving so far by these guys. Look at that. How close is that? We talk about a bit of rubbing. There's the rat. McIntyre making a move.
Yeah, braking duel going on here. He's got on the inside, but, you know, can David Besnard hold the position? Yes, he can.
So Bessie having a great scrap. Look at McIntyre being hounded by Kane Scott, sort of going backwards on the Fujitsu Ford Falcon this race.
Yeah, as we talked before, Clint, you have to make a compromise for racing in the rain. Do you go for a full wet setup, a dry setup? I kind of got a rough, gut feeling here that maybe Kane's gone the wrong way for these conditions.
Perhaps he might be in just sort of damage control country.
99.
McIntyre in front.
The motor, mate. Coming into the pit full of smoke.
Remember, Kane Scott coming off the win in race one. Problems there for John Hepburn from the Timaru racing team.
Engine blow up on the back straight.
Yeah, that's actually quite a big problem we see there. You know, let's just hope that car's all right. I don't think it's on fire, but who we got here? It's Richards
Simon
again.
Richards. That's the Southeast German Electrical Works. They make conveyor belts, and he's sort of got onto the grass with this conveyor belt. Let's see what happened with Simon Richards.
Yeah, hey, Clint, he done the right thing there. He knew when he got into the corner he was overcommitted, so instead of trying to make the corner, going off the grass or maybe spinning, decided to go straight ahead and then recorrect itself down the actual drag strip they have here at Taupo.
So Simon Richards out of the Waikato. And the ballistic car, not quite ballistic that time. On board the Cat Rentals car of Inky Tulloch.
Inky's back in the thick of it again, and here's Julie Hussett around the outside making three places up in one corner.
The turtle sliding wide, Sean Turton from Pukekohe Cars. That's the Master Trade Commodore of Chris Adams from Mosgiel. He's getting it on the... Look, another car around the outside.
Yeah, look, we know 3 into 1 don't go, so let's see what transpires.
Fog!
And it's fog, so... Hey, look, Angus has got a good drive here. 3 places up.
This is the big sweeper, and it's Husseth. Oh, just a little wee tap with Alan McCarrison, and around he goes.
You know, this is really some crazy driving for these conditions. There should be a little bit more room given by anybody.
So let's take a look now at the Hydrolink best under pressure moment. And it's David Bernard here. Look at this, the big sandwich with Johnny Mackey. Won't yield under pressure though. Holds his spot into the corkscrew and keeps it. Good driving under pressure. But can he keep it going? Stick around, we'll find out with the Fujitsu 200. Welcome back to the Fujitsu 200 Race 2 in the BNT V8s. What a scrap developing here. Booth in third, followed by Bernard and McIntyre.
Clint, I just can't help but think it's just a matter of time before McIntyre gets up with Bezzy and Booth.
It's amazing how quick that track has dried out.
Yeah, hey, look, it only takes a matter of laps. You know, we've got 28 BNT V8s here, pumping the circuit dry.
We'll wait to knock on the scout of these brakes.
Feel the roar, hear the noise. The BNT V8s, and watch Cam Hardy. Oh, sliding off.
Look, I can say the best of the best only go off in that corner, Clint. I know exactly how he feels.
Coming out of the corkscrew onto the front straight. Now it's Craig Beard putting Andrew Anderson under pressure.
Yeah, Craig will just chip away here, chip away. They've got some good car speed in that United video car, so, you know, he should get the drive here. Got him, look at that. Andrew made a little mistake going wide on the exit of the corner. Just enough for Craig to keep that momentum and pounce.
Here comes McIntyre. Bernard into the sweeper, top end of the circuit. Great racing, I've got to say, they're really going for it. Look at that, what a sweet move by McIntyre.
That was amazing, because if you had a look in the entry of the corner, Johnny Mack was actually sideways coming into the corner, got underneath him, held the position. Fantastic driving. You see how the cars now are going to the wet part of the circuit, as we discussed a couple of laps ago? That's to allow the tyre to try to cool off a bit.
Stop them from going off. What happens if they come down to the end of the straight, braking around about 220k? Bernard just kicks it under control, just about.
God, he just mothered the back of Johnny Mack's car, didn't he?
Sliding it back out onto the straight. Keeps it off the grass.
Yeah, you can see David Bernard's car really struggling with these dry conditions.
This is what happened to Cam Hardy. He came out of that corner, got into a bit of a tangle and bang, straight onto the old green stuff.
I must say, I reckon Cam Hardy was just an innocent victim there, because the two cars were jostling for position, made a bit of a offensive manoeuvre. Cam Hardy just in the wrong place, wrong time.
That's looking back at the total Commodore of Nick Ross. This is Hardy on the inside here. Perhaps he may have just tangled with Nick Ross, the two Waikato boys. They'll exchange words later on in the pits. Look at this, McIntyre hounding the Commodore of the Big Ben Andy Booth car.
Inside line this time. Watch the inside line.
Yeah, fantastic drive out of turn 8. Now it's just a drag race down to turn 10. Let's listen. Okay, although he's on the outside, it's not over yet, because we'd expect him to duck underneath.
Remember, he set the lap record in race 1. Already he's the fastest out there in race 2 again.
Once again, very interesting. If you heard that, Johnny McIntyre using first gear, so must be getting absolutely amazing drive out of this Castrol Ford Falcon.
Andy Booth taking a defensive line down the straight. Look at the rat. He's cleared off. Can McIntyre sneak down the inside into second? Oh, a little bit of a tap. Holds onto it. Booth back down through the corkscrew. Great driving.
Oh, absolutely amazing car control by all three of them.
Look at that. Sliding it. Oh, McIntyre squealing it onto the main straight. Great driving by the boys in the BNT V8s.
Oh, exactly right. You know, Andy Booth didn't get the best of drives off the top corner, allowed Johnny McIntyre to get on the inside, but come down to braking, managed to have that just slight advantage to keep the position.
Got to say, for a guy that was struggling with the setup of the Commodore, he's doing all right. This is Julia Hussifin and the Cat Rendell's Ford of Inky Tulloch.
Just goes to prove, Clint, how good Andy Booth must be in these conditions, because keep in mind the Commodores did have a technical change this year, and it's the first time they've had the opportunity to try those changes in wet conditions, so you know he's handling it very well.
Talking to Commodores, Julia Hussif having a good race here in the Girl Talk Commodore.
Yeah, absolutely outstanding effort in the top 15.
Oh, look at that! Andy Knight spins around. He's an absolute magnet, the Chester's Falcon, isn't he, Timmy Edgell?
Once again, wrong place, wrong time.
He just can't stay away from trouble.
No, he can't.
And half the time it's not even his own fault.
No, exactly right. But look at these cars start to move, and look at the drive off the corner.
McIntyre having a big look down the inside of the Big Ben Commodore, now around the outside.
Yeah, a classic move here. Go up high, wait for the opportunities down the inside. A little bit of rubbing. Hey, look, absolutely nothing in this at all. Now it's going to be a drag race down to the top corner.
What's the line on the top of the steering wheel there?
Basically just tells the driver where straight ahead is. You know, if you get in a spin situation, you know where to go to correct the car again.
What a drag race. McIntyre down the chute, into second spot, makes it stick in the wet.
He does this time. You know, he just had enough advantage to take it, you know, to carry into the braking zone to keep the place.
Good looking car. White Stripe, the Squawking Magpie, the Castrol Tallies Ford this year, the defending champion. Got the claws out there into second spot. Boothie won't give up though.
Oh no, Andy Booth never ever gives up. But interesting, you can hear the car starting to squeal. That's basically the tyres starting to protest because they're getting so hot.
Take a look at the damage here with Andy Knight of the Milwaukee Falcon. Just clips the edge of Timmy Edgell and the Chester's Ford spins him around, so more drama for the Chester's Falcon. And then the Turtle gets it on the act with the Oryx Commodore of Manual.
Clint, I just can't help think this is crazy driving. Everybody knew where each other were. 4 into one corner, only 2 come out.
BN, can he make it stick under the inside? Nice move. Kane Scott's got problems.
Yeah, let's go back to the corner before. Here we're looking at 2 professional racing drivers, one having a good hard charge up the inside. They give each other racing room. We look further back down the field. We see guys hitting each other. That's the difference.
Great shot on board with Michael Bristow and the Texon side Ford Falcon. Young winner of the development series last year. Full-time gig in the BNT V8s this year. Very good driver. Look at that, being hounded by Craig Bear, but holding his own, Bristow.
Yeah, we'd probably expect Craig to take the place here because you saw Bristow get a little bit wide coming out of turn 8. Craig may try to set the position up to go high here. Bristow's a little bit sideways. It's Craig underneath him. Let's wait and see. Okay, we can have a look. I think this will just be a drag race now to the top corner because I suspect, as I thought, here comes United Video car down the inside.
Sensational shots here at the Taupo Motorsport Park. Beardy's got the inside line into the corkscrew. A little bit of gentle rubbing. Well done, gentlemen. Beardy makes it. Beard, oh, look at Scott round the outside of Bristow. Slidey's gone back 2 spots.
Yeah, but full credit to Bristow. Never ever gave up at any stage. You know, gave everybody enough racing room, but was defensive at the same time.
Yes, a young driver on the way up. Just got a good lesson from a couple of pros there, but he'll remember that. Anderson down the inside. Looking back at Andrew Porter and the 111 Ford Falcon, the Hyundai Hydrolink car.
Andrew Porter's been a real surprise to me anyway because, you know, it's a relatively old car, or experienced car I should say. Andrew's still new, albeit his 2nd season to the class. Driving to maturity, I believe, beyond his experience.
3-time New Zealand truck racing champion. Really getting the hang of the tin tops now. Look at fog looming in on the background.
Yeah, Angus has made some incredible time and spaces up during the race, but, you know, the cars are in 2nd here.
Brook goes wide, Porter makes it stick, Fogg follows it through on this freight train.
Absolutely, you know, that's just the byproduct of the wet tyres overheating on a dry track.
Brook coming back though, he won't give in.
No, he won't do, but Angus has got so much car speed, I believe it's just a matter of time.
See the car's really starting to slide around as the tyres start to go off. Good battle here, Dale Williams and the Stabby Craft Ford. That's the ITM Commodore of Andrew Anderson. Look at that, slipping it wide.
Yeah, here we go. Here goes Angus up high, and we're probably expecting maybe get a good drive off the corner. Let's listen. Here we go. Oh, magnificent shots.
As close as you can be in the BNT V8 without actually being behind the wheel by yourself.
It does not get any closer than that.
Now Fogg gets that pass. Oh, look at Bristow hanging on to it into the corkscrew.
Clint, one thing we've got to take tension off here, it's actually raining again. Okay, windscreen wipers come on. You'll see the circuit's got a sheen across the whole track now. The dry conditions they were used to are gone. This is going to make it interesting because those wet tyres would have gone off in the dry conditions. Now they've got to try to persevere in the rain again.
Andrew Anderson, Leighton Hart under brakes.
I don't know if you could hear that chit-chit-chit noise. That's the rear brakes locking up in the car.
So the BNT V8 starting to drift towards the end of the 16-lapper.
Oh, they've been rather tentative. Oh, look at the weather. It's come down again.
So real drama, real action. Bristow hanging on to it.
Oh, absolutely amazing car control.
Good to see the guys giving each other a bit of racing room, especially here in the wet, sliding their way through towards the end of the 2nd race in the Fujitsu 200.
Yeah, maturity is what's going to pay dividends now. You see Michael a little bit sideways, maybe a little bit too much rear brake. To coincide with that, rear tyres having such a punishment from the early part of the race.
Fogg having a much better race too, driving up through from the rear of the field. Hounding the bumper of Andrew Porter.
Absolutely. What's Angus going to do here? Go to the inside or go to the outside?
Into the big sweeper, top end of the straight. Can he set himself up for the inside line down the chute? Bit of the old bump draft from Leskar. He's got that inside line. Has he got the speed?
What's the gap to red
He has actually. He's going to have the inside running. Some say it's good, some say it's bad, but the thing is he'll have enough pace down the straight to get ahead before the corner, which is all important.
Oh, look at the drivers late and hard under the brakes, and that was not very versatile driving of Brookie's, just taking Porter out.
No, that was never going to work in a million years.
There's fog. Problems here for David Bernard.
Out of fuel.
Try and keep going, mate. Try and keep going.
No, it's not going to keep going. It's not going to do another lap, I don't reckon.
They had fuel problems here last year. Back out in front, it's the Rat, Paul Radicic. He had a good handy lead. He was sort of like conserving the tyres, but look at Johnny McIntyre just racing up. He went from 5th back to 8th in that first corner, first lap. Now he's driven back up to 2nd. What a great drive.
It is a good drive, but it's one thing catching Paul, completely different story trying to pass him on the last lap.
At least Radicic's wiper's working this time.
Yeah, it's good to see, and he'll be happy about that too.
On board the defending champ and the Castrol Ford into the sweeper for the last time. Great shots.
Yeah, Johnny McIntyre running out of time here, a couple of corners to go. If Paul can just get a nice clean exit here, keep the momentum going down the straight, should keep that position.
Johnny McIntyre, though, be quite happy to pick up some big points. 75 for the Rat. Paul Radicic for first. 67 for Johnny McIntyre second. 60 for third as they come through the corkscrew. Look at the rain on the track now.
Yeah, these are less than ideal conditions. This is probably the worst we've seen over the whole weekend.
Tyres going off. So good timing to finish the second race in the BNT V8s at the Fujitsu 200. The Rat takes the win. McIntyre coming home second. Great result for Paul Radicic.
Well done, Paul. Thank you. Well done.
And the team.
Good job.
Boothie hangs on for third. Looking about hanging on, though. Andrew Anderson's just gone backwards in the last lap. So he'll be a bit disappointed with that.
Yeah, he had a good battle going until then. Maybe just the wet conditions, a little bit anxious.
So confirming the result, Paul Radicic gets the second win of the season, followed by Johnny McIntyre second. Once again, Andy Booth rounding out the top 3. Beard up to 4.
Outstanding drive for Angus Fogg up to 8th place, Paul Pedersen in 12th, and hats off to Paul Radicic.